done on this in terms of trying to bring to light the things that we're faced with in terms of our public education in Washington, D.C. I'm Graylin Hagler, and I'm running for at-large council in the District of Columbia. And for more than 20 years, I've been the senior pastor of Plymouth Congregational United Church of Christ in Northeast Washington, D.C. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in religion from Oberlin College. I earned my Master's of Divinity degree from the Chicago Theological Seminary in Chicago, Illinois. And for all my adult life, I've been a social justice advocate. I have lived and worked in Chicago, Boston, Utah, Ohio. Everywhere I've lived the creed that is now the essence of this campaign for council at large. We fight for what's right, and I continue to fight for what's right. So I want us to know about what is going on and what has transpired in terms of public education in Washington, D.C., and to really dispel much of the myth that continues to be kept alive by media and by those proponents of educational reform. I know what it is to live in the sunlight of expectation, and I know what it is also to be overshadowed in the darkness of folks who believe that you don't have much to offer and there's not much you can achieve. So I've invited all of us here today to lay out a detailed critique of the problems our community has suffered because of this so-called school reform. Yes, we have mayoral control of the District of Columbia, but the Council of the District of Columbia has considerable power and responsibility when it comes to the education of our children. As a member of the Council, I will have the power and responsibility to bring forth research findings about how DC's current school reform strategies and politics and policies can be dramatically improved, to initiate hearings about our school system, and to draft and vote on legislation affecting that system, including the budget. I am a member of this community seeking elected office. I have lived my entire life fighting for what's right. Mayoral control has thwarted the educator, parent, student participation in our schools. I must raise my voice on behalf of the residents of the District of Columbia whose voices have been muted by those who repeatedly assert that the Fenty Gray reform strategy is working. As a candidate for at-large council, I must raise my voice to tell the truth about how the residents of this city has been misled about the effects of so-called school reform and how that strategy, a strategy of test, intimidate, and punish, has failed and caused serious harms. To evaluate the truth of the claim that this strategy is working, it must be judged against the key purposes of the nation's school reform. And that purpose is to greatly improve learning for disadvantaged students, especially low-income children and children of color, so that virtually all children become academically proficient, and to close the achievement gap between disadvantaged and advantaged children. When defenders of this strategy claim it's working, they chiefly rely on the fact that in the 2-year period from 2011 to 2013, DCPS average scores on the National Assessment of Education Progress, NAEP, increased by 5 to 8 points on a 500-point scale in reading and math, and that this was more than any other school district in the country. For example, in the State of the District address in March of 2014, Mayor Vincent Gray said, quote, "These gains are real. They cut across lines of race, geography, and class, and they are worth celebrating. They prove that we are on the right track, a track we need to stay on, to double down on, to accelerate on, until every child in the district gets the world-class education they deserve." And after the 2013 national NAEP scores were published, Henderson said, quote, "The NAEP exam shows that we don't have to cheat. Our children are achieving